Dear friends, a happy Shushan Purim. This Shabbat we'll be reading the Torah portion of Tzav, where we continue talking about the sacrifices, individual sacrifices that were brought in the temple, and we're told a very fascinating law. Every sacrifice that was brought that was either be able to be eaten by the priest who brought the sacrifice, the Kohanim, or by the owners who had brought the sacrifice as well, who had offered the sacrifice, there was a limited amount of time they had to eat it, 1 day or possibly 2 days. And the law is that while a sacrifice is being brought, if the one who's bringing the sacrifice had in mind that they plan to eat it on the third day, a day when it is forbidden to eat the sacrifice, that invalidates the sacrifice, and it's called pickle. And imagine this, they're going through all the rituals, they're slaughtering it correctly, they're going through all the parts of offering the sacrifice 100% correctly. But in their mind, in their thought, they're thinking to do something with the sacrifice, which is not allowed, which is to eat it on the third day. This invalidates the entire sacrifice. And this is a very important lesson for all of us, because it tells us about how important what our thinking is. Sometimes we think, what I think is not so important, it's only what I do. And actually Judaism itself emphasizes how the action is what counts most. And that's very correct, what action is what counts most. But when we want to know where the person is, when you want to know where am I really, where do I feel myself, what do I really associate with, who am I? You don't always look at your actions. We look at where you're thinking. And we're told in the Talmud that where a person thinks, that's where they are. That's where your head is, that's where you really are. That's your state of mind. And your state of mind becomes your state of being. And that's what the Torah tells us. It's so important to recognize how our state of being is very, very important, our state of mind. And therefore, there's something very fascinating we can learn from this about our lives. And that is sometimes we want to change. We want to become different. We lived a certain way. We want to become more observant. We want to become more committed to God and to Judaism and to start doing things we never did before. And it's very hard to change the actions and to start doing something we never did before, we weren't comfortable doing because we don't know exactly. And here's the secret of how to make a true change in yourself. Start thinking differently. Think Jewish. Think about where you want to be. Because when you start thinking about where you want to be, it becomes much easier to do what you want to be. And therefore, in Judaism, start with your thoughts. Start where you want to achieve. What do I really want to achieve? What's my dream? What's my hope? What's my goal? Because even though today you're not there, if that becomes your goal, it starts becoming who you are. You got to execute on it, but that allows you to execute. And this is the key thing in our lives. If it's a particular thing, or if it's in general, we want to move forward. Action is great, but action comes with friction and hardship. But start thinking a certain way. Start thinking success, you become successful. Start thinking about being Jewish, you become much more Jewish. Start thinking about the right thing to do, and the right thing will come along. So I want to wish you all lots of success. Take one thing that you really want to be inside of you and start thinking about it. Start thinking of yourself as doing that or being that, and you will see how easy it will be to achieve it afterwards. So I want to wish you all Shabbat Shalom. May God bless you all. Let's continue the beautiful spirit of joy of Purim holiday until the Passover holiday. Let it carry us very well. We love you all. Shabbat Shalom. Candlelighting time in Montreal is 6:51 p.m.